Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 6, Episode 25, where we watch Judge Steve Harvey, Season 1, Episode 1. And you must have thought this was a real show. I'm Chris Lorenz.
I don't want a court show anymore. This is Brian.
That's the way I see it. This is Noah Singer.
I object. This is the Honorable Max Esquire.
If this is your first time joining us, we watch a different reality show each week, discussing if it's good or bad in minute detail. Noah, what did we watch this week?
Sorry, was finishing my whiskey, which is needed for this show. Steve Harvey employs his own life experiences and some good old common sense as he expands his resume by taking on the roles of judge and jury in the courtroom. Harvey welcomes a variety of conflicts and characters to his courtroom, from small claims to big disputes and everything in between, where, playing by his own rules, he helps to settle his guest cases with his own unique comedic flair. That's a Judge Steve Harvey on ABC and Hulu.
Before we get into this garbage, let's talk about our polls on Twitter. So we put a poll up, figuring out if the audience finds out if our show is good, bad. So last week we watched Selling Tampa, and our poll ended up being a bottom third show. Ooh. That is what I said it was, so good on you, audience. And over the break, we reposted one of our old ones, MTV's Next. And then that poll also got a bottom third. There you have it. If you want to tell us if you thought this show was good or bad, let us know on Twitter at Who Put This On in the poll for this week. Now,
very prophetic to do a bus-based show prior to John Madden sadly passing away.
Oh, man. That's a real segue to nothing.
No.
What does John Madden have to do with a bus?
Brian or Chris, do you want to inform that?
Because
No.
he famously wouldn't fly anywhere, so he had a really expensive RV. Thanks.
It's not an RV. It's a proper coach bus, decked out. It's the Madden Mobile or something.
No one cares, though. Let's talk. I know we don't want to talk about this hog garbage.
I care, Chris.
But we need to get into this fucking judge show because it's fucking terrible.
No, I want to talk about the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and how John Madden basically had his own Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It was the John Madden Mobile.
I just don't understand how these shows exist. This show is about petty people suing other people about stupid shit. I don't care. I have enough shit going on in my life. I literally have
So I think
it would be one.
Brian and I might be trying to say the thing of that. This is a well-worn, proven concept. They're not doing anything spicy here. It's same concept, throw in a new judge. So I think this is not a primetime show, which they're testing with, but this works. This makes money.
Yeah, this is a lot of justice porn for people. Think about this. You're just living in your home. Oh, man, somebody wrecked my fence and tried to get money for it. Couldn't get money for it. But then you see these people get money for it. You get pumped for it. That's where it comes in.
Do you think there is a genre of justice porn where people...
100%.
No, it's am I guilty or innocent?
I think it justifies it. It's oh man, I got away with something. Or, yeah, I could totally take it to court and get something for this.
Okay, let's see. We got to talk about this more now. So let's go on our first court case. We got 3 court cases. They're all equally as bad. But let's talk about our first one. We got
Bowie.
Whatever. She's the plaintiff. We've got Melanie. She's our defendant. She's being sued for $2,837.15 for a damaged fence and party costs. So, Mui claims that Stephanie's tree limbs fell on her fence, and then so she owes her money for this fence, and it's goddamn stupid. I don't care about this fence. What, Steve Harvey, this is real law. Whether you should owe money for this fence or not, Steve Harvey don't give a fuck about real law or who owes what for what. He's just like, he's just making it all up. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it.
In his terminology, I ain't got a law degree, and I'm way too fly to wear a robe. Court is now in session.
Oh, I just can't stand it.
I think,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, I think the worst part about this is we see all this back and forth, and it's like, oh, wait, that tree's on your property. Oh, then it is your tree. Case closed. Like, it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I just don't understand. This is a 5-second conversation. Like, okay, the tree's on this line. Okay, this is what the law says. Done. Like, I don't understand it. I'm so confused.
What do you not understand? What do you not understand, Chris?
Everything. I don't understand.
Like, do you understand why the people are on the show?
Well, the people, I don't understand why these people in this court case was picked for this show. And I don't know why this is court case number 1. Like, it's not very interesting.
Now that, I agree.
It's not very interesting. Again, it can be solved in 5 seconds or like 30 seconds. And like the bickering back and forth is boring and droll. And ugh. I just don't like it's. I really wanted to turn the show off after this first court case. I really did.
This was a terrible first case. Like, they clearly shot a bunch of them and like kind of put them together. You can tell by the audience numbers, right? Like, who's there. No idea why they put this first. People are turning the show off a third of the way through that case.
Brian?
No, I was bored the moment they explained what the problem was.
Brian, what do you think? We need your opinions.
I really think that like this is how you hook people with something that's just so relatable, and it sucks and it's so boring. But at the same time, all this shit's fake. All this drama is probably fake. You want to know why people go on these court shows? Because they're getting paid by the show. Everybody gets their money. Everybody's fucking happy.
Oh,
So
really?
then-
Yeah.
You get paid out?
Yeah,
yeah.
If you go on Judge Judy or the show, if you win $5,000, like the show pays $5,000. Like they don't actually pay.
But I think regardless of if you win something, you just get like an appearance fee. Like both defendants are paid like $1,000 or something just for going on the show and making a fool of themselves.
Right.
So what's nice for the audience, usually the Internet Corner is confined to a mobile device. Internet Corner has gone mainstream. We have a computer. So I was able to look this up pretty quickly.
What's a computer?
Yeah, it's the thing we used to use. So people get a $500 appearance fee for going on Judge Judy to help, like, base roughly what the payment is.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but it's still the case. If you get awarded money, the show pays. It's not like they don't actually pay.
I'm gonna look up that fact.
Look it up. Look up the internet. Some other things about this case were so the quips during this case, which this show's all about the quips. Steve Harvey's all about the quips. So like, Mooey says she's not about mending fences. Apparently they were friends. This whole fence thing is throwing a wedge in their friendship. Very weird.
So, side note, $100 says these guys are friends still, and they just want to go on a show. They came up with some dumb shit.
I just
Because they get
didn't
the liquor
even.
bill paid for.
I didn't even think enough about these people to even care if they were faking or not faking. I just don't care if they're faking or not. It just doesn't matter. Well,
Yeah, this entire case was just a sneeze fest.
she also says, I'm Asian and I know math, which means she knows a date of when the tree fell on her fence.
Yeah,
The
that
most-
was-
To which Steve Harvey responds, "We're about to get thrown off the air."
We're about to be canceled.
That was funny.
to be canceled. Yeah.
Um, also, there was some sort of party costs.
Yeah, well, that was
it's
the most
just
confusing
so-
thing. They're in a TUS, about this tree, but in the middle of their argument that happens over years, they say, "Hey, let's throw a party together."
Yeah, it's stupid. Don't worry about it. Steve Harvey says the defendant didn't have to pay. Defendant won, and no money needs to change hands because the tree was in her yard. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
There was also a great moment where there was a pic of the defendant drinking in the bushes, and some of that stupid stuff. Like, I love it. I love like the quips. I love the burns. I can just go for that.
I just wish there was like more. Like, you got to sort of a show with something strong, and like get me to care about like this court case. Like you gotta. Like, and they did the opposite. And I don't know.
Something juicy, anything.
This is the exact opposite of a show. Apparently, like not for me.
I have a thought on this, and that thought is we don't really understand what makes a good pilot, because we've had this critique about several other pilots before, where it's like the first thing is so garbage. Why are they putting that first? Why wouldn't you put something that's the best first? But it's a common thing that we're seeing.
I'm not sure that this is the pilot.
This is definitely the pilot.
No. Just being a pilot doesn't necessarily mean it's the first show premiere.
Yes, it is.
No. They don't. You generally don't see the pilot.
No.
That is true.
You didn't see the pilot of Game of Thrones. You didn't see the pilot of Big Bang Theory. You didn't see the pilot of all these shows.
Okay, we're talking about two different things. The term pilot, technical term, is what Chris is saying. It's what is produced to pitch the studio, right?
Yeah, that's a pilot.
Like, and use cuts. But I think oftentimes, though, it's commonly referred to as the first episode that gets aired. And Wikipedia article on television pilot confirms what I just said.
Whatever. No one cares. The bad thing
Everyone
is
you just started this whole argument because you cared.
Everybody cares.
You're arguing semantics. The pilot is something that gets pitched to the show, which is
that's not
like
semantics.
You were arguing the semantics.
No.
That is not semantics.
You're saying the pilot is always the first episode, which is wrong. They could have filmed all these in any order they want. You just said they filmed it in any order, and they picked and chose these ones for this episode.
Two different
Do
things.
not fucking tell me that this was one thing that they pitched to the show. Now it's the first episode. So fuck you.
Chris, I'm waving my gavel. It turns out it's me. I'm Steve Harvey. I don't care. Noah wins. You have to pay Noah $7,000.
So the show pays him $7,000. So
Correct.
You're Steve Harvey, so you pay him the $7,000, and that's how it's.
I'm taking it out of the Who Put This On treasury.
Yeah. If you want to give Noah some money, there you go.
All of our coffers.
No
Let's
one
move on to the
cares.
next case. Next case is actually good, as far as the show goes.
So the next case is Daphne Springs is the plaintiff, and Tiffany Brooks is the defendant. Tiffany is getting sued for $6,000 for misspent funds for funeral expenses. So they're sisters, it seems, and their brother died, and Tiffany gave Daphne $6,000 for the funeral, but Daphne cremated the brother and didn't have a funeral. Unclear. But there was no casket or burial or stuff that cost like an exorbitant amount. Or like
Yeah,
a lot of
apparently
money.
cremations are way cheaper than I thought. They maxed out at $1,200.
Yeah, super cheap.
So the case goes on, and Daphne essentially admits that she misspent the money. So then Steve was like, okay, well, then you owe her the money. And that was the end of the case. Another case that was solved in 30 seconds, but took 20 minutes. So
Okay, but how did she misspend it, Chris?
you tell me.
A liposuction and a Brazilian butt lift.
The BBL.
The classic, whatever you want to spend your money
I-
on.
Okay, I gotta be honest here. I always thought that was Big Booty Latina.
I didn't know BBL was an acronym until I watched the show.
We're all learning something here.
Now you know.
It's education.
Yeah, I don't know. These people were lying, then they found out the truth, and the case was over.
Yeah, that's what happened in court, man.
But she didn't. So I don't think she spent it on that procedure because I found the journey of this case to be somewhat entertaining compared to the outcome. But it seems like she admitted to spending it more on like travel expenditures around the funeral, even though that'd be pretty costly. Like, but just not on the funeral, which was the issue.
Sure, I don't know.
She admitted to it.
Brian, what do you think?
She just admitted to it, like, she slipped up.
There you have it.
She was playing coy for a little bit,
Yeah.
and eventually she admitted it.
I took so few notes on this. Like, at a certain point, like, they just started arguing about, like, the butt injection and everything, and then I tuned out.
Yeah. This one felt very fake, like, because the defendant fell, like, way too quick. And at least for the editing cuts they showed of her, she was always, like, smiling and just kind of, like, seemed, like, happy to be there and, like, getting caught in her lies. Like, it's just, like, bad acting.
She pleads the fifth at some point after she admitted to misspending the money. And then Steve Harvey had the biggest laugh, I think, of the show, where he thinks that this is hysterical, that you think this is a real court case, is what he says, which is a reference to my clip at the beginning. And what else did I write down for this? There's some sort of recognized game one-liner going on here.
And at some point, Steve Harvey gets out from his judge chair, like, to walk around and recap what we just heard, which a useful tactic if a show is moving fast or has a complex plot. In this instance, it was really beating us over the head with the gavel.
No. That's Steve Harvey's shtick. Damn, that's hard to say. He does the same thing in Family Feud, where it's just like, oh, this funny moment happened, and he just stares out of the thing and repeats the exact thing, just emphasizing and beating you over the head with what just happened.
No.
Just
Two different things. Like, that is definitely his, like, comedic thing, right? It's like, you said, what? You're going to go to the store? Oh, my, but this time, he just literally, it wasn't, I don't know, it was a little bit less of a shtick, but, like, mixed in with the shtick.
right. I think he was trying it out, and it didn't work out.
I will say, I do love, you did a very good impression of it, Noah. Steve Harvey being like, what? That's crazy. Tell me more. And there just wasn't enough good material for him to do it on the show.
All right. Steve Harvey's shtick. 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 I was pretty close there. I almost was. All right. Let's talk about case number 3. No one gives a fuck about case number 2. We're moving on. We got Eric Whittiers. He's the plaintiff. We got Drake. He's the defendant. He's suing for $5,000, or Drake's being sued for $5,000 for kitchen cabinets and a dining room set. Apparently,
this is brother and sister.
Yeah, Eric and Drake. One of them's a woman, right?
Yeah, maybe it was Erica.
Erica, I don't know.
Yes,
might
Aaron.
have been Miss.
Aaron.
Might have been Aaron. Okay, that was Miss typo. On my part. Thank
I'm
you.
like, very clear.
I was looking at. Calm down, everyone. All right, Aaron paid her brother Drake to put in kitchen cabinets and dining room set in 2020. It is now midway through 2021, apparently, when they're filming this, and she has no kitchen cabinets or dining room set, and she wants her money back. And Drake says he's going to do it. Aaron wants it done, but she wants it done now. I don't know. This also seems super fake. I don't understand what's going on here. And there's some crying about, I want my brother back. I was going to give her more money. Blah, blah, blah. This no one cares. And so Steve Harvey said that she had to, or to get her money. The plaintiff won $5,000, but she said that she's going to give him $10,000 to do it now. I don't know, dude.
So they just got free money. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, they're most of these people are playing the game the right way. They know they come on these shows, they win the money, so like, you know, the interviews to get on the show, they say the right things and they go on the thing to like, you know, the defendant has to lose so they get the money. It's just like, this might be one of the worst shows I've ever watched. I think it's so bad. I think it's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
The only thing that I would say gives it not the worst show is that there is a finite point to each case. Where, like, some of the worst shows we have, it's like there's one storyline just goes on for the whole damn show.
And we can argue. It's just like whatever you think's bad. Like if we go one by one, like it might be a worse show. I'm just saying this show is fucking terrible. Like if it's the worst of the worst, I don't know. Right now it is because it's fucking terrible.
Mm.
I think this might be the worst show we've done since Thunderdome.
It's just so like Steve Harvey is not saving this show. You think that his charm and his wits and his quips will come in, and his like giant white smile can come in and bring charm to this thing, and whoever is interviewing these people and setting these court cases up does the worst job imaginable. These are terrible.
So Max, for those listening, we use Zoom, and Max changed his name to Thunderdome hours ago when we started watching the show together.
Yeah,
I thought that was just like a funny thing. This is a Steve Harvey production. Can you inform us about Thunderdome?
Thunderdome is Steve Harvey tries to do a one-man Shark Tank. I actually just looked up the who puts this on rating information. This was season 2, by the way, and you will not be surprised to learn that this is a Universal bottom third show.
Is Steve Harvey officially banned from our podcast now?
Is there anything we've ever... Didn't we do Thunderdome with something else?
Yeah, it was
Celebrity Family Feud.
With
okay, lower... Bottom third. Who gave this a top third? Harrison.
There you go.
And
Maybe.
Rob gave it a top third? Okay, so we're more split on Celebrity Family Feud. But Thunderdome officially out of the game.
Well, there you have it. I guess a couple of notes I have around this court case at the end. This was in all the taglines and stuff. Steve Harvey says Jesus was a carpenter and he would have charged more than that, saying that $5,000 was criminally too low, which he's not wrong. Also, Steve Harvey laughed really hard at this question. He asked, "How did Aaron get to the how'd you fly?" And she says, in a seat, and Steve Harvey just loses it.
Yeah, that was the weirdest question. She did a good job of trying to answer it. Steve, what the fuck are you asking?
Are you asking if it's inside or outside the plane? What kind of question is that?
Yeah, then he follows up, I meant commercial or private. Steve, you need to get back into reality. You're too rich.
Or on first classes versus, coach.
But that was not his response.
I know. That's what I thought, and then he corrected himself, and it's just yeah, okay. No one's flying, that way, other than him, obviously. Yeah. Also, Steve Harvey said you need to keep secrets from your wife. Wife tip from Steve Harvey.
Yeah, after seeing these shows, I am never taking advice from Steve Harvey.
Brian's face should be the screenshot.
Steve Harvey has several books out on relationships and how to live. Act like a lady, think like a man. So he's thought about this.
Maybe I should buy these books. Who knows?
Yeah. Act like a success. Straight talk, no chaser. He's ready.
No, I think this would ruin his reputation, but then Max reminded me of Thunderdome, which I'm pretty sure I have blanked out of my memory. I do not have any memory of this show. But considering he's had a terrible show before this, hasn't affected his, celebrity status. So I guess I'll be fine. I don't know. This is countdown to when this thing gets canceled, I imagine. I don't know.
I mean, Thunderdome got canceled within one season, so this could easily be done. I mean, he's just riding that Family Feud wave.
I mean, the thing is, Family Feud is like a classic. The format's good. Like, you're not actually asking Steve Harvey to do a whole lot of work in that show. Like, you just like have him read questions and then like interact with some people, and he's good at that. In this
He's
show,
perfect fit for that show. It's a good format for him.
The show.
The thing about this show, it's a known format. It's well proven. Like, it's been on the air for decades.
Yeah, but it's not. You need more of, a Judge Judy or, what's the chef guy's name? Like, you need somebody to like really lash out at people. And Gordon Ramsay. Like, you can't just have him being all bubbly and like making quips. Like, it's just like. And I agree with you. He could do fine at this if the court cases were better. Like, the court cases were miserable. Like, I couldn't care at all. 0%. Like, there's no like, you hit me with your car. There's no like, I don't know what can make me interested, but it's up to the show to do that. And they didn't do it.
Nobody's going on there for like getting hit by a car, though. No, maybe they will. Never mind. I take that back. There's definitely a line of like, what is better to take to real court versus fake court.
Yeah, I wonder if his judgments are binding.
No,
legally, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, but like, are they signing? Like, the only way it would be legal if they sign a contract that says, yes, I will actually abide by his ruling.
I mean, even then, his ruling is fake because they don't pay it.
Well, So
what is there to abide?
Well, I looked into this, right? It looks like a lot of people, at least by quorum standards, are under the same impression as Chris.
And Brian.
That they're... What is thought of is that on these shows, the production allocates $5,000 per case that comes on the show that gets distributed amongst the defendant and plaintiff. And so if, like, let's say whoever side wins, they just get more of that cash to pay the settlement, and any remaining goes to the other person, and that's like their pay. I have a hard time buying that. It seems like...
What do you mean? That's so cheap for the show, dude. That's so cheap. It's a primetime show. This is fucking ABC primetime. Do you know how much it costs to make a fucking, I don't know, like NCIS or like Grey's Anatomy? They fucking millions of dollars. This fucking show costs like $15,000.
Oh,
like,
this show's
fucking like insane, dude.
Very cheap show. Very, very cheap.
And like, there were 3 court cases in an hour-long show. This is so cheap. I guarantee you they got more than $5,000. Like, that's so low.
My guess it's $10,000.
For like this primetime version, they definitely have price. For like Judge Judy on at 5 o'clock, 30-minute show, more. They probably have 3 or 4 court cases at this 30-minute version of the show. Just like, ugh. Why do they have to take things to primetime and extend double the time and have the same amount of cases?
Actually, you know what? I can go back to Judge Steve Harvey Instagram. So they've been running his Instagram for a little bit of time. And all the way back in September 2021, they released their now casting Instagram post. So you have to go to mysticartpictures.com and maybe you can figure this out. Stay tuned.
All right, while you do that, let's do some questions because who's the worst human being? Is it me?
Whoever put this on.
Yeah, me. Who picked the show? Max, did you pick the show? Maybe it's you.
Me and Max did.
Somebody else posted about it, but I just listed it in the bullet point.
All right, I think it's us, and hopefully you guys didn't watch the show because we watched it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm voting for Steve Harvey because he's a sexist asshole.
That's fair. He did tell you to lie to your wife.
Is that sexist?
Yeah, like if you go into like a lot of his material, then you'll see that he's pretty sexist.
That may be the case, but I don't think it's sexist to say lie to you. Like, don't.
No, I'm not saying that.
Noah, after the show, go on his Wikipedia. There's a whole controversy section. Have fun.
I will knock myself out.
All right, there you go. Tweet at us if you think it's Steve Harvey or us for making you watch the show. We'd love to hear from you at Who Put This On. Is this the apex downgrade for the host, Steve Harvey?
Hard downgrade.
I mean, it's not as apex as this show is terrible, but it could have been.
Yeah.
No. Family Feud's going to
be that for a while. Does Family Feud count as like primetime?
No. They had primetime versions, but he's not on primetime right now. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not Apex, so I don't necessarily think it's a downgrade. It's more of a meh, but we can move on.
It's a side quest.
It's a side quest. What's the production schedule of this show?
So, actually, an interesting thing is within the show they mention it's 2022. So either they lied or they filmed it in the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, they filmed it on Monday.
Holy shit. I missed that.
They filmed this whole show in 2 weeks.
I mean, they started recruiting for the show in September. So I doubt it took them that long.
Yeah. Let's do drinking rules. And I think you should drink until you decide to stop watching the show. That's the number 1 rule. Brian, you have a drinking rule? Or Max, go ahead.
Every time you see Judge Steve Harvey going for his cup, go for your cup.
Brian, what about you?
Drink while Steve Harvey is laughing.
Let's go on. Drink every time he slams his gavel. Noah?
Take a shot every time a brother and sister come on, or a sister and sister, or a brother and brother, people that are related.
I think you need to drink every time there's a sob story for, classic. Max, you have another rule?
Yeah, take a shot.
Yeah. Right now. Just do it. All right, those are some fun drinking rules for you while you watch the show. I wouldn't encourage you. That's okay. Would this show be better as a Quibi? And undeniably, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, this format would very much work as a Quibi.
Yeah. Quick update before the questions are over. So I went through the whole application process to be a contestant on Judge Steve Harvey. Nowhere do they talk about the payout and all the legalese and the whole application.
Why would they tell you in the application that we're going to pay you? I mean...
Yeah. No. Have you ever applied to a job? Do they tell you how much you're going to make?
Some jobs, yeah.
The problem with putting the payment, the problem with putting the payment up front means that people are more incentivized to lie on that application. So if you keep that secret, then they're going to it's going to be closer to what they want.
Yeah. It is interesting though. This Mystic Art Pictures, they recruit for lots of reality TV shows. It's a good place to get in bid on.
All right. Here's one of our favorite questions. Who's going to hook up next?
Well, one thing we actually didn't talk about at all, which I'm a little surprised about, is Nancy, the cop. So
Oh, the bailiff, you mean?
Yeah. For some reason, they have, bailiffs.
Why wouldn't they have a bailiff? This is a real court, Noah.
Is it?
This poor lady stands there smiling the entire time, and that's her whole job. Which, I mean, I guess is also kind of true of real bailiffs.
So,
Okay.
Steve and the bailiff. Is that the contender we're talking about right now?
But seriously, on the bailiff on Judge Judy, they get some good banner going on.
The bailiff on her show makes a lot of money. Like,
Oh, I'm not surprised. Like,
No,
she's making
like-
bank. He's got to be making bank.
yeah, like 6-figure money or 7-figure money. I think he's making a lot of money.
Yeah. Poor Nancy. They just do these, like, random cuts to her, and she just, like, stares, like, blankly into the abyss.
Season 2 could
All
be
right. All right, we got a hard question right now, but I think we got to do it. What do you love about this show? And Brian,
It reminds me.
Go ahead, Max.
It reminds me of a throwaway Arrested Development skit called "Mock Trial with Jay Reinhold." I think that was a great section of Arrested Development.
Great show.
Judge Reinhold.
No, what do you love about the show?
Love the strong word. There was education in it. I learned what a BBL is. I like learning, and so there's some benefit there.
I learned how much a cremation costs.
Okay. I'll tell you what I love about the show. The quips. I think the quips are great. I think the one-liners are good. And it doesn't prop the show up very much, but, it does elevate the show. Steve Harvey laughs. He's infectious. I think that his laugh is great. That's like one of the best parts of Steve Harvey. And I think he does a great job when he laughs when somebody says something ridiculous. But he did ask a ridiculous question. Brian, what do you got for me?
I like the future YouTube content where they condense this down to 5 minutes.
5 minutes? I feel like that might be too long.
No, there's not enough burns to last more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm.
I was kind of on your boat with the quips, but there's
You
not
could
much
say
else.
the quips too.
Man,
That's fair.
that's all I want to see is like a quick rundown on YouTube of Steve Harvey burn people.
Could be a good Snapchat. Like they have those videos on Snapchat sometimes.
Oh yeah,
But like Snapchat videos are like interjected with ads every like 30 seconds, and it's just I can't watch anything on there anymore.
Yeah,
Snapchat, fix it.
bring back Quibi.
All right, let's do our final segment here. We do ratings. We do a stack ranking system between top, middle, bottom, third compared to other reality shows. Brian, what do you got?
I'm gonna say top of the bottom. I hated this show because they just relied so much on boring cases, but I think that it's gonna get better. I think that those judge cases are just entertaining background TV.
Max, what do you got for me?
Bottom third, bottom of the bottom. Brian is an insane person, and I want to take him to court for his bad opinion.
Yeah, no, what do you got for me?
Bottom, but middle of the bottom. I don't think this is pure bottom. Like, I was not playing on my phone during the show. We have watched some shows where
What were you doing? Watching the show?
I was watching it, yeah. And there's a lot of shows we watched where you're just like about to go numb because it's so bad. This was not that.
Yeah, I did not feel like Welcome to Plathville watching this.
I disagree.
Oh, should I
disagree.
watch Welcome to Plathville?
No.
Max, I agree with Max here. Bottom. This might be the hottest garbage we've watched in a long fucking time. It's terrible. Don't watch the show. I'm sorry if you did. I feel bad. And if you like it, it's fine. I'm a white male in his 30s. I think this is really stupid, and I can't commiserate. But if you liked it, I don't mean any offense. But bottom of it. All right. That's it for our discussion. Let's do
Steve
some
Harvey? if you're out there, do better.
Let's do some shout outs. Brian, you have any shout outs this week?
Started Wheel of Time, nearly through it. Really good show.
Yeah, it's over. I thought the season was good. Excited for the next season. I also, if you're a fantasy fan, I would encourage you to watch it. Noah, what have you been watching? Give us your shout out.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on break for a little bit, getting to watch some TV, man. So I caught up on Succession. Like, if you're not watching Succession, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's the best show right now. Easy. So obviously that's great. How To with John Wilson. Caught up on that. Caught up on Curb. I mean, I've been binging HBO hard. But they're all excellent content. The one curveball thrown there, which is not just on top of everyone's mind. I'm catching up on Narcos Mexico. I watch the original Narcos where they go after Pablo Escobar. This one obviously takes place in Mexico. Very entertaining. Very good content on Netflix.
Max, what do you have for me?
+1 as usual to How To with John Wilson. I haven't watched it, but last season of Search Party comes this week, I believe. I've been watching Station 11 on HBO, which is kind of like post-apocalyptic mystery. Pretty good. It has that lady from *Halt and Catch Fire*.
My shout outs this week, I guess their meal time was already taken. I've been watching some Curb Your Enthusiasm. The season I didn't particularly like that much. It's very I'm rich and these are rich people problems and I'm even more of an asshole than I've ever been. And as long as you know,
is that even possible?
I think Larry David is a real asshole this season. Usually, I think he's a dick, but like he can be like, oh, I get why he did that. But this season, like abortion plot lines and like trying not to get some law repealed on some fence around a pool, and like it's silly. I didn't particularly like it that much, but Noah's giving me looks that he loved it. So.
Well, it's a very good season. There have been worse seasons of Curb. Like they went to like a little bit of a lull around like season 7 and 8, but also around that time, if you go to the early parts of Curb, he goes to this like naive kind of dick, and it slowly transforms into an asshole. And there's been other seasons where he's been more peak asshole. I think some of the things this season, they weren't purely rich guy problems. I don't know.
I don't think all the problems. He's like 5 problems each episode. So like, not each problem is like rich guy problem, but like he's dating this woman to get this thing repealed, and he thinks she's repulsive. And like, I don't need to watch. Like, that's not entertaining on a 5 episode long arc. Like, I'm sorry.
I thought it was great, and like Tracy Ullman playing that woman, she does she's such a good actor. That was fun to watch. Her playing a repulsive woman.
Brian,
it just felt it just. I have to agree with Chris. Like, it made him feel like such a fucking asshole, bigger than like he's ever been.
Yeah, it's definitely like Always Sunny level of assholeness, and it doesn't have that like wink to the camera that like Sunny does at this point, because it's 15 seasons of them being like a real asshole versus like a season and a half of him being like a real asshole that like I just can't commiserate. Anyway, I'm gonna end this with some recommendations that are good. I've been playing video games. I've been playing Inscription. It's a Windows game. If you like Slay the Spire, it's like that mixed with like a mystery, like a escape room kind of thing. Very good. Recommend that. And I've been playing Breath of the Wild. Still great. 5 years later, still amazing. Play that. And you can reach us at Who Put This On for recommendations. Tell us if you like Curb. Tell us if you hated this show. Let us know. You can find us on TikTok. Watch our TikToks on Who Put This On Podcast on TikTok. Email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next time.
Hello, we're in Philadelphia. Here to try some cheesesteaks.
The classiest of the steaks with the cheese. The whiz with the classiest of the whizzes.